Aries, year of 2022, annual forecast for the year. I'm going to go through each of the houses, and then I am going to have a kind of a little meditation session at the end to see like if anything else pops out at me as an overall for the year. You can watch this, of course, if you have a sun, moon, or rising sign in Aries. And you can watch this particular video for your house that Aries falls in. So say you have Aries in your 10th house, then you can watch the 10th house card and get an understanding from that. If you guys would like, you can timestamp below. All right, here we go. 2022 for Aries. So you start off the year with a new beginning, and it could be a new beginning in something to do with your physical body. So you could be starting a new regimen, a new sport, a routine. You could possibly be very energetic this year. Be starting a lot of new things. If you are doing a sport, I see it being more of a football sport. Something more contact, physical body. I also see, be careful with your limbs, your extremities. It's important. Another card popped up when I was shuffling, and I just didn't feel like taking it, and it came up again in the rest of the reading. So, but just be careful of injuring yourself. It's important to protect your arms and your legs. For you Aries men, you may be very energetic, we'll just say that, in terms of partnership, with romantic and physical nature stuff. I see that there will be a sudden financial you'll just get finances that, it'll just come to you. Could be a great deal of them, and I don't know if this is through some kind of forgotten reservoir that you had, or maybe a night job as a bartender, but there's going to be a lot of money coming in, and it's going to come in fast. That might be some of these messages may be very specific, so just take it in a general sense if it can apply to you. Second house, what you value. You might suddenly find that what you value changes overnight. Like something happens and what you hold important in your life changes, and you may very well start completely anew with that. You might also start a physical regimen of exercise, or like I said, a sport or fitness, because you suddenly start to value that more. And I also see like just money falling from the sky in terms of your finances and your resources. I think something's just going to fall in your lap, which is really nice, especially after the past couple of years we've had. I see that the people around you in your vicinity, your siblings, some of them might need some help, and if you put your heads together, you'll form quite a nice bond with this person. I wouldn't ignore this person's when they come to you asking for help, or maybe they don't ask you for help, and so you might want to keep an eye out for that, because you could really build a really nice friendship, or bond with somebody. Yeah, I see it being like, you might even go on a trip with this person somewhere, which is really nice, and you both will enjoy yourselves. In terms of your home life, I see maybe having to let go of a home, and maybe not wanting to do it because of the finances, or because you've saved up some money. One chapter of your life in terms of your physical environment that you're staying in ends, and it might have been a very challenging chapter. There might have been some issues with people being a little bit greedy in the home, or hoarding money in the home. And that ends. So there might be a little more free flow of money in the home, or having to, less having to pinch and hold on to what you got, in terms of your home life, or having to protect maybe your things. So maybe you don't necessarily, in the past, you didn't feel safe at home, and that horrible feeling is ending. It's finally over with. There's a culmination there. We might be holding on to painful memories of the past. I see you trying, finally being able to break through that. Very the thing with the Ten of Swords is it's like the worst pain ever, but you know that it's over. You're not going to have to relive all the trouble up to that moment of it's done. It's just done, So whatever troubles or pains you've had at home, or with finances, being able to afford your home or whatever, I see that not being such an issue anymore, because I see this money coming in suddenly. In terms of your romantic relationships, I'm seeing some kind of not so great things. So in the 5th house, I see communication that is upsetting, and it's almost like it sends you a little backwards, and keeps you up at night a little bit. It might be a lover just communicating that things aren't working for them, and you just not taking it well, like all of us wouldn't take that well. I see that there might be a broken bond within the year, or this could be someone communicating with you about a creative endeavor that you have thought up and are going for, and they might not see it as fully developed, and this might really upset you. But I wouldn't worry so much, because it seems like whatever happens, you're going to land on your feet, because you've got a lot of opportunity this year, a lot of opportunities in love, a lot of opportunities to that will just light you up, or could light you up. There might be some difficult energy with getting around what's real for you and what's not, in terms of friends, lovers, jobs, etc. But I see you being able to manage that pretty well. You come out very victorious, and just being able to use the negative things that happen in your life to kind of drive and force the good things back in. So You're moving ahead. We all have our little setbacks, and maybe this is going to be a year where romance is not the main focus for you, and that's totally fine, and it's not totally out of the cards. I just see things going at a more slow and steady pace in terms of romance. I don't see, and I see things being new. So if you aren't going through a breakup, or you're not in a relationship right now, or at the beginning of 2022, Aries, I see that there's many potential for you to try that out, see how that works for you. Okay, in terms of your day-to-day routine and your services to others, you might be in a job that's a service industry job where you're in charge, some of you. And some of you, I mean, it's very possible that you will be a leader of some sort, of an organization or something. And I see that there might be a lot of rules there. Not that that's anything too tough for you, Aries. I mean, granted, you'll just bulldoze right over them if you don't like them. But I also see school here. So a lot of you might be going to school, and that might be a predominant focus of your day-to-day life. And I see maybe this is something that you're just kind of like, ugh, like it's taken a long time. Am I getting where I need to be? But I think that you are planting these seeds and about to reap a harvest, whether that's you're just beginning school. I don't think a lot of you are just beginning. People that I'm talking about this are just like ready for the end. They're like in the middle, and they're ready for the end. Some of you might be, though, and that's awesome. Good for you. All right. I had something and I lost it. You might be more active with a religion this year. You might attend services on a regular basis. And maybe the driving force of you being more involved in your sect is that you have been really kind of blah with life, and you're looking for answers, maybe to maybe just looking to get in touch with your spiritual side. I see it being a very spiritual year for you, a very financial year for you as well. And okay, I'm going to move on now. So your relationships, like I said, I do see some relationships being difficult this year. Possibly a friendship. I'm seeing that more so of an argument with a friend and the bond not being exactly where you want it to be. I am also I see you forming a new friend in your day-to-day environment. That's what I talked about earlier, about the friend in your neighborhood. It could be your neighbor, or you might need help with something and someone helps you out and you form a bond. Or and I said that you might take a trip with this person, or they might not have the money to go on the trip, and then you put your two heads together and you figure out a way to get them to go, and it ends up being a great trip and you all enjoy yourselves. So I see that. I want you to know that with relationships, things take time. That the relationships are going to take a little time this year, especially ones that financially, like you might be trying to work your way up the ladder, and the people at work are, slow to warm up to you, or they're very focused on what they're doing. I would just go with the flow very organically. And those of you who are into gardening, random, I know, you might be planning this year. You might be getting into gardening this year. And I see that being good for you. And you might build some relationships that way. You know, some of you might join a gardening club. I know that's not for everybody, but like I said, bear with me with those things. I also, in the way you are with others' resources, I see hidden resources coming out of the woodwork from others. I also see you having some crazy dreams this year. Very spiritual year, like I said. You may very well have some psychic, intuitive hits throughout the year. In terms of your finances, I would suggest any kind of strong pull to do something. It comes from, that gut feeling. I would definitely take initiative on that. But only you know, like, how your body responds to those kind of things. So, however it hits you. I see a lot of secrets coming to light that might need some compassion from your end, or you might be building that compassion for others because of some secrets you have that come to light. And, in terms of the secrets of others or yourself, it doesn't matter. I see it being like a sudden thing that comes out about somebody's potentially. There's like this pull between tradition and how we do things in the rules and dogma of a situation, and also experimentation. So I do see a lot of, there might be a friend of yours coming out this year of the closet, is gay, lesbian, etc., etc. And or you yourself could be coming out about some kind of intimate thing that's, you might be experimenting with that. I see that in the card. What else? Let's see. I mean, there's a possibility that someone might be mean to this person about it, and you might be really upset by that. So maybe that's the person that you're in your day-to-day life that you are forming this bond with. That might be a potential thing. Okay. So I see my little eye. In terms of travel, I said that you would be taking a trip. Any trips you take this year, you're going to love. I know we've all been cooped up for a while. Be safe, obviously. But I see you taking action to do more things that you love this year, especially if you have been cooped up. I mean, why wouldn't you take the opportunity if you get the chance to go and do something fun? And I have a feeling that it would be during the month of June. Could be the beach. I see a beach trip for some of you, for sure. Especially those of you who don't normally go to the beach. I think that you might be going to the beach with friends. All right, I'm going to move on from, you might also have to be developing a new spiritual philosophy, and that might be what the spiritual tone of the year is about you really coming into your own in terms of what you believe, and maybe you experience something that leads you walking down a new path that's very exciting for you, that you maybe don't know much about, and you're a little timid about it, and that's okay. I think that just having some compassion for yourself and knowing that sometimes life throws us a curveball. We might not totally understand everything, or not have always been open to things, but I think that you're opening up in a way now you're becoming more receptive to your intuition and possibilities outside the realm of the 3D world. And you may go to a place that's a very spiritual place also, because it excites you, and maybe you've had an experience and you want to go try to, random example, going to a museum that has to do with something spooky or something, that ghosts or something like that you're going to enjoy yourself. In terms of career, like I said, you would have some money just suddenly kind of drop in your lap. Maybe a new job all of a sudden comes your way. And it might be a night job as a bartender. I'm very, very possible about that. Any job that's at night, that's you're serving something, or you're cooking something. I mean, that's very, very possible with these cards I see here. In terms of the actual career, if you have a family business, you may be sticking to the family business. You might be starting a new family business. That's another thing that came up. And this is going to be something that your family can, for generations will hold. It's not going to be like, in 1 year, a couple years later, done. This is something that's going to build over many, many years. It would be very successful. In terms of a home career, I think that maybe you're just sick of staying home and you'd rather be out doing some things. You start your own restaurant or bar or something, or I'm just seeing a lot of cups here. So, in a more mundane sense, very much reminds me of a bar. All right, so family's doing good. You might have a new family member as well, that comes into the mix. All right, I'm going to move on. So now the 11th house, like I said, there's going to be some experimentation. This is a very interesting placement because it's the experimenting house with the experimentation card. There isn't a set choice. There is almost a fluidity to this. So you yourself could be experimenting in terms of friend groups, where you are, normally you always hang out with the jocks, for example, and you're really trying to step out of that. Maybe you have a new hobby or interest, like the sport or the gardening or even bartending, and you're just trying to maybe hang out with different people, because maybe certain people in your life have been pretty difficult and challenging as of more recently in this year, and they might have hurt you, and you might be like, well, this cycle's happened over and over again with this person or these group of people, and I would like to try something new. I want to bring in a newness into my life. And there's nothing wrong, especially with trying new things and just being kind of watery. And I know Aries is not watery. Typically, the sign of Aries is headstrong, and I'm going for it, energetic, and just kind of like a brazen sign, where there's just like, you guys spring us into a whole new year. So, and you lead, you're strong leaders. So maybe the leading has been great, but then you look around at your sheep that you're hanging out with and you're like, I think I need to find some new sheep. um, I just see a lot of experimentation in terms of sexuality as well. And for those of you who are like, that's never going to happen, no way, you might be surprised. Or there might be a conflict between your spiritual dogma from a religious background that you have and how you're feeling about this at this time. It's very, this is the way we do it, but I want to do this. I want to not fit in a box. And there's nothing wrong with not fitting in a box. In terms of your friends, try out new friends. Try out people who are totally different than you. You never know. You might actually meet somebody that's just awesome and that teaches you new things, or you might, it seems like it's a year of new beginnings. Sudden things happening financially, wins. Feeling a little bit alone maybe with the friendship group because of changes, but definitely be open to new people is what I'm saying with the friends. You might also be just feeling very free at this time. Just very free and open and very spiritual. Lots of opportunity for you here. Okay, so in terms of your faith, you're building your faith. You have been learning more about yourself. You've tried things, they didn't work out. You're trying to restore faith in something, and there might be a push and pull between what you've been taught to believe and how you're feeling about it. So just be patient with yourself, and know that, like, if anybody's been difficult in your life, if you've had like a nemesis of some kind, I see you just being a little bit over it. Like, you're like, oh, what, can't you go away? How are you ever gonna get out of my life? Like, don't you have something better to do? I'm trying to work over here, and all you are is bugging me. I see one of your challenges, other than this news from a friend or a lover that causes some pain, is that you're just tired of waiting. You're just getting a little bit, maybe, I wouldn't say stagnant, I'd say like just frustrated with how things have been. And the best thing you can do is wait for things to change, because you don't want to try to rush into something, and especially in relationships or even with your spirituality. I feel like taking your time is good. I feel like if you pick the fruit before it's ripe, it's definitely not going to taste as sweet. So experimentation in relationships, just take your time and dip your toe in the water. If it feels right, it feels right. You have lots of opportunities coming in. Any negative things I see you using as gasoline to move you forward this year. I don't see I don't see many challenges. I think it's more internal struggles and struggles with a couple of people in your life, a friend group. I see you being super psychic and super just being more open about the very intimate things of your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. A vulnerability is such a powerful and courageous and beautiful thing. So, all right, Aries, I wish you the best 2022. I hope it's everything and more, and I will see you next month.